Hello, sinners. Welcome to the bonus Q&A. I guess it will be the start of the year Q&A. But this little thing that I'm recording, this video, will be available for the Devil's Playground tier. The questions have all come from the Devil's Playground tier, and I am trying my hand at multi-camera streaming with a whole new lighting setup, a microphone, a phone microphone, and who knows what'll happen. So if you hear me just randomly clicking stuff and bumping stuff, then welcome to me learning how to do stuff. This is just forever. This is what 2026 will be. Me trying difficult things. Anyway, cheers. So, good morning. I hope you guys all enjoyed Irish Boyfriend Feeds You. We have another 2 audios that I've just finished over the last few days, which I think will be absolute fan favorites for the content that is inside them, let's say. But yeah, let's get right into the questions. Thank you everyone who supports us over on Patreon, no matter what tier it is. Keep an eye out for giveaways. Actually, we have another brand new one coming very, very soon, which I will talk about a little bit during the end of the video, because the thing that I was going to show you, like I'm a professional, is not within arm's reach anymore. So all of these questions were given to me by the Devil's Playground tier, and if you'd like to join, you get access to a close friends group on Instagram. You get access to some kind of creativity section of the stuff I put on YouTube. There's also some not safe for work audios in there, and there will be a lot more coming to every tier over the next 2 months. I'm going to act like the rent is due, and I hope that you can see from the busyness of myself and BB that you can stick around and look at all of the chaos that's happening. So the first question comes from Svea, and it's not a question. It just says, as always, when you asked for questions, my mind draws a blank, but I'm sure the Playground gang will come up with a brilliant input. So let's hope so. Thank you, Svea. Maybe one day you can ask a question. Let's say, so this is from Kristen W. Let's say Eric is scrolling through the audio eroticas for research purposes. For whatever reason, what tags might catch his eye? If that seems too personal, just waffle on about tags in general. So anybody over on the Discord will know that we did a small little competition about how many minutes listened on Quinn Rap did myself and BB Easton have, and I clocked in at an incredible 97 minutes of Quinn listened on the account that I have. A cool little thing is, obviously, when you start with Quinn, they give you access to an account so you can learn the ropes and so on. But myself and BB, we pay for accounts. Just so I can, have a look at stuff. I can, sort stuff out, keep an eye on analytics and all that sort of stuff. So when I'm scrolling through the app, honestly, the tags that catch my eye are not the sillier ones, but just the ones that I've never heard of before. Not that I want to implement them into my into the work that me and BB do. It's like, what is that? And I'll have to either check it with the community or check it with BB or check it with, some sort of browser. And then I'm also curious about the tags where, like, I will say something like, the most recent audio that I've created is called On My Knees. And it's a direct sequel to what's going to happen this coming Friday called On Your Knees. So it's kind of a... You'll get the point from the titles of the audios, but I try and think of something, and so does BB, little tags that are kind of intriguing that you don't see that are the regular tags, and I want to try and keep the tags as much as they are there to kind of hopefully not trigger anybody or upset anybody or anyone who has an ick to things they don't want to get involved in a story and then suddenly go, oh, that's the thing I don't like, and then just end it. They'd rather just not start it, not open up that wound, let's say. So I think the main thing I'll be looking for when scrolling through the app is like, oh, that's a really funny way of putting a very conventional, generic action that happens on audio erotica. So, like, even if you think Irish boyfriend pampers you, just saying like that, not that kind of facial, just something like that, nice little kind of comedy tags, I think they catch my eye, and they are also what me and BB try and think of when we were adding ours. And in terms of the tags as well, it's sent off to the Quinn team, and they are much more educated than me and BB in this sort of work, and they might deem that this tag doesn't really make sense because it's in it for like 8 split seconds, but the actual broader tag is this, So thank you, Kristen. Anything that's too personal, I will just skip, and it just probably won't be in the video. Because I'm going to try and put this everywhere, and I feel like YouTube might be a little bit of a, I don't want to call YouTube bad because this is on it, in case they're listening. Possibly anything a little bit more personal, more, let's say, not safe for work. The audio will be released to Patreon, and then I'll see what I can do with that. Next question is from Rita, and it says, skip this if it's been asked before. I can't keep up, but if you only get to listen to one more song and then no more music ever, what would it be? Oh my God. I was going to say Chandelier by Sia. So if I just try and sing it one last time. There is probably a rogue clip in someone's email box that has me singing Chandelier from Sia, and I could hit the high notes. And I don't know where it went, and I don't know where it's gone. And I used to send, there was a Polish guy I worked with, I used to send him all the music I ever made, and then I lost the logins to like an old Yahoo account. And I'm like, I don't talk to him anymore, I don't have access to him anymore. And I was just like, I wonder if he has all of the stuff that I made in, like, peak Jason Derulo era. But I don't know if music is gone ever again. Then you gotta have to listen to like Yesterday, right? Isn't that something? But only from the Mr. Bean version. So thank you, Rita. Broken Phoenix says, actually, congratulations on winning your headphones. Right? I think so. Didn't you win the headphones? Anyway, my brain is mush. If you woke up mute if you woke up mute tomorrow, what would you do next? Yes, I choose violent. If you woke up mute tomorrow, what would you do next? Probably produce audios. Like I would just pivot and like be like, hey, John, do you want an editor? Ryan, do you want me to edit your stuff? You know what I mean? Like I would stay in the ecosystem of the job that I'm kind of used to doing now. Produce music. I would write cinematic scores for whoever would have me, and I guess the Yap sessions would die on their arse. Next question is from Shanana, and it says, what is completely random to you that brings you joy? For example, I love aerial rope obstacle courses. Looking at me, people would never guess. So what's yours? Completely random to you that brings you joy. I think I was in an airport in England, and I was waiting for somebody, or I was waiting for a bus back to London, and I was like, my bus wasn't for like 2 or 3 hours, and I just sat at the arrival areas of the airport and just watched people arrive, because it is a form of people watching, but it's like, as someone who kind of grew up on long distance relationships, it's something nice to see somebody after so much time that watching it from the outside, I'm like, I'm writing their stories in my head. I'm like, oh, I wonder how long they've been apart, or I wonder why this guy has flowers, or there's a man with a plaque that says Mr. Johnson. It's like, oh my God, wait, is Dwayne Johnson about to walk out here? So it kind of brings me joy to play that sort of game. Anything else? Reaction channels on YouTube. Honestly, I'm sure there's a psychological form of loneliness of kind of being in the room with this person as they're experiencing Game of Thrones or a movie that I like, and I'm like, yo, it's the Red Wedding, but obviously I'm not there. But reaction channels are kind of, even people reacting to music. I always love that sort of like hip hop head listens to System of a Down for the first time, or metal head listens to XXX Tentacion for the first time. I'm like, I really like that sort of discovery of things. So thank you. Next is, what's something about yourself that you've grown to love and appreciate? I think doing this job, the fact that, I mean, look, I think we can all, anyone who's been around for the 2 years now, and BB, God bless her. God bless BB Easton having to deal with me. But every single day I have an idea. Whether it's good or bad, I have an idea. So creatively bankrupt doesn't exist. Regular bankrupt, hey, but creatively bankrupt, that is something that I really love and appreciate about myself. Among other things, love yourself. Next question is from Liv H. Of course, skip this if it's already been asked, but what is or are your biggest dream or dreams or goals for 2026? So I think it's best to put this in video form and writing across all different areas. I want to create a GPS that people can have in their phone that encourages them. So when you get to where you're going, it knows that, let's say you're trying to get fit and you're going to the gym and you've inputted all of these things. The gym is where you go to work out, obviously. The system would kind of know that, and it would give you praise for going. It would give you, there's a fucking fly in the studio. It would give you, sorry, if this is just audio, pay no attention. But it would just, I thought I could Mr. Miyagi catch it with chopsticks. But I'm going to obsess over that now. I'm in Breaking Bad. Please excuse the murder you're about to see. So it would take you to the gym. So let's say your gym is a 15-minute drive away, and it would encourage you on the way to help you kind of get into that mindset of the gym. Or you're coming home from work and it's praising you for doing a good job at work, and you get home and it gives you the mindset to relax, to kick off your shoes, to forget about the world outside. And just these little moments that when people are behind the wheel of a car now, and I don't drive, so I don't know why it's in my head, but I think road rage and confrontation and all that sort of stuff, I've seen a lot of it, and I don't like it. Especially in a world now where you live in, you don't know where people's heads are at in an incident, and the most minor out of place thing can set somebody off. And then just because you've done this at them, like, hey, why did you do that, you jerk? And they've gone, well, today's the day I'm gonna go to prison. I'd rather keep anybody who wants to focus on themselves and the road and be calm when they enter a place like the gym, which can be intimidating, entering a home, which can be tiring, entering a grocery store where you can get tempted by things, and just have a set of connections through this app where somebody like me, or a lovely British voiced Tom York, or whoever comes to work for my lovely app, I want to create this. That is a big dream of mine. A goal of mine, I think it's just health and financial stability to do the things that I want to do. And I guess another goal is to get a work visa for America. The process is sort of beginning. I don't want to speak too much on it because I want to try and just surprise people who, when I go to events, I can be like, yo, I can stay for 6 months. I got a backpack full of microphones. I'm going to go live, 40 minutes from BB so we can make an in-person podcast, and we can record audios together, and we can work together, and I can go, train in the nightmare factory of Cody Rhodes' wrestling school, and I can go to, whatever it is, Pinewood Studios in Atlanta, Georgia. I think that would be a source of freedom that I would love as part of a goal. But just continue to create. Thank you, Liv. I'm sorry I went off on 15 different tangents. Next question is Erica. If you could only eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be? Now, see, I can't do that thing where it's like you smile, where it's inferring a more like not safe for work, like, but then it doesn't really work for the audio section of this. So I'd just say, I don't know. It's really difficult. Strawberries, right? Jaffa cakes. It's going to be something sweet. Anyway, it's an impossible question because I take it too seriously. Next question. Thank you, Erica. Next question is from Britt. Shag, marry, kill, Cillian Murphy, Paul Mescal, and Hosier. I don't know. It's like marry Hosier because I feel like he'd be a great stay-at-home dad. I'd have to kill Cillian Murphy, right? I do it in the finale of Peaky Blinders. I do it. I trick the question. I'm the bad guy, and then I guess shag Paul Mescal because I don't know, because he seems like a top shagger, but maybe he isn't. That's my answer. Thank you, Britt. Thank you. I hope these lights don't make me all blushy. Blushy the Vampire Slayer. Gretchen Amy is next. Because I absolutely love listening to you narrate novels as well as audio erotica. Any audiobook work in the near future? Maggie Rapier's Wolf Tamer, maybe? No, nothing. Ashley Barnhill, the stand-up comedian, I worked on her audiobook. Shout out. She opens for Dave Chappelle. I can't remember the name right now off the top of my head, but if I do have some sort of editing to do, I will put it here. I know it's done on chapters, and I don't know if my chapter is the chapter that's been released yet. But other than that, 2026 is Quinn and events so far. But I mean, obviously, I'm not opposed to doing audiobooks. Who knows? Who knows? Next question is from Phyla. So we know in some of your audios there's toy play. Do you ever use the toys for yourself? If not, are you curious to try any? If so, which ones? We've entered the not safe for work section, or do you mean Skay Electrics? At this point in the production side of things, most of the things I use are for the production side of things. Do you know how really it's difficult to find like vibrator sounds, like on the internet, like even to find these things. So creating them myself with a fucking, what do you ever see those things where it's like a torturer, has this bag full of stuff. And do you ever use toys yourself? No comment. Next question, moving swiftly on. Kiss Marie, would you rather have your mom listen to all of your audios or overhear people listening to your audios in public wherever you go, like constantly listening to my audios? I mean, look, so I think overhearing people listening to my audios in public wherever you go, and why? Does that mean that my plays and stuff like, is the whole world now subscribed to me? Because that, I think, is a benefit. And if it means that I don't have to listen to my work outside of the house, I think my mom would be fine about it. I think, do you know what I mean? She wouldn't be listening. I don't know. Maybe there's a thing, or she just block it all out. But yeah, I guess I'd have to go with people. I'm just walking to the gym and all the lads are listening to, Rest Day Ramble. I've always had that sort of dystopian future think of like, I wish the world just had music constantly playing, like big massive speakers in the world, and you could just like listen to music while you're walking down the street, so you don't have to wear headphones. And I think music as well puts people in a certain mood, and it will be really interesting to see how society is when, you know, I don't know, certain songs are playing publicly in a loud space. So I'll go with everyone listening to my audios on giant, what's that movie? Is it Equilibrium with Christian Bale? And they have giant like dictator fucking podiums full of audio systems. Yeah, we'll do that. And it's just playing my smut. Thank you. Next is from Nick. What topics / categories of things does your algorithm feed you when you're on social media / YouTube? How well does this match with the things you're interested in offline? Honestly, my algorithm it's two things. The one of my social media of Eric Nolan, I haven't used it in a very long time. Like since doing Quinn, I kind of shifted all my attention to Quinn, to the Devil of Dublin profile. So in leaving the Eric Nolan account with whatever 10,000 plus followers, and I had probably a really active, screen time, the algorithm went from TV, film, Game of Thrones, music, whatever, Marvel, to like the basics, human instincts of male attention. So that's what that algorithm is. And then on the Devil of Dublin profile, because I'm constantly sending stuff to BB Easton, it is just raccoons and just mad things that pop up in our life that now just appear on the internet. So I think my algorithm is completely random. So if I clicked my phone right now, I don't think I'd be able to guess what's coming up. And I also thought about making a business where my business cleans your algorithm. So you send in somebody to just go watch the 50 different interests that you have, so you'd never end up on all the horrible things they're trying to show you, So thank you, Nick. And how well does it match the things you are interested in offline? I mean, my YouTube algorithm is just like reaction channels and wrestling and education of becoming all of this at this point. And I have two YouTube channels. So one of them is about, like, I get obviously now, because I have a new channel, it's feeding me the biggest videos on YouTube, like the Sidemen and Mr. Beast and PewDiePie and all those sort of 150 million subbed people. And then my Eric one is very just my actual interests. So I have a lot of choice. So thank you. Next question is from the Charmed One. What advice were you ever given that you now give out to anyone at random because it worked so well for you? Just fucking go for it. My dad would always say, never negotiate in fear and never fear to negotiate. And I've never told anyone that, but I really like it. Like, I really like that. And then I think, I think these like stoic podcast clips that are all over social media, I love them because I'm like, that's so I can't wait to see that quote, get it inspired for about 3 seconds and then flip up and just see something that changes my brain in a few seconds. But I think jump and the net presents itself is something that kind of came in the last few months. And that's what's happening. I'm trying to just jump into all these things without any education and hope and trying to like see what happens on the other side. And a lot of the stuff that I've done is sort of, I'll work it out when it happens, So if there's anything that goes wrong here, I'll just be honest with you all and say like, sorry, this didn't work, or this stopped, or the sound of the microphone was terrible, because I am just jumping and I'm hoping this net shows up, I always used to walk to my friend's house and look good, feel good would be in my head. If I was like going out to the pub, I'm like, oh, I got a new pair of shoes on. So now I think I look good. So now I feel good. Just like a brain trick to trick myself. Yeah, And then obviously, I think, is it Jimmy Carr, the comedian? I mean, it's probably not him that said it, but it's him that was saying it on a clip that I saw where it's like prioritize later. So like, yes, I want to drink this small can of caffeine. This is 35 milligrams. I used to have 400 a day. So I'm prioritizing later by knowing that I can sleep tonight, knowing that I'm not going to get headaches with such an intake of this sort of caffeine, and knowing that it's a treat now instead of a necessity to do any sort of work. So I'm prioritizing later by doing 100 days of hopefully everyday workout, whether that's knees, cardio, or weight training, because I know in 100 days I'll appreciate the hard shit that this Eric in this moment did. I'm a sucker for a good quote. Next question is back with Gretchen. I know this is my second question. Are you watching the World Dart Championship? Who is your favorite darter? I am not watching it, not at all. I do love the idea of darts. It does look like a good time, but I do not know many of them. I know the little guy, not he's little, but he's young, like Luke Littler, only because it's just on social media. But like we played darts, me, Ryan, Amanda, Tom, BB, and AJ, and Davey. I think Davey had gone home by that point, or maybe I think he was there. But I'm terrible. Everyone was terrible, and Ryan was good. I have some footage of it, but it was like you had to murder people instead of playing regular darts. So my favorite dart player is Ryan Mayers. Next question is from Cassafras. It says cheeky second question. Did I answer your first question? I did. Okay, cool. The amnesia is kicking in. Are any types of scripts that you find hard phrasing? Sorry. Just reading your messages is difficult for me. Cheeky second question as well. Are there any types of scripts that you find hard phrasing, absolutely intentional, to record? On the flip side of horny, any that are particularly emotionally difficult to record? No, I think at this point, like I'm 2 years into it, there's nothing that I haven't seen before. The tarot reading that we did for Halloween, I mean, obviously I've never delved into a cock cage or a chastity apparatus. So that was something that it wasn't like, wait, this is difficult to record. It was like, oh, wait, how do I need to emote when this sort of apparatus is being used? And I understand the reasons behind it. And then I think, the stuff like The Affair and Nothing Else Matters, like these really argumentative, emotionally charged kind of scripts, I have to put myself in those shoes. And that's what I think makes it so good. Like there's times where I legitimately cry in these audios. And obviously this is a form of voice acting, and it's a form of subtly leaving myself vulnerable. And the most recent audio that I recorded, which will come out on the 16th. Let me just check my calendar mid interview. Yeah, on the 16th. This is a super personal, emotional, vulnerable audio. So I wouldn't say they're difficult to record. Nothing's ever been difficult, and I wouldn't say like that's like some sort of smug cunt. I just mean that like I'm going to get through it, even if it kind of evokes a certain emotion from me, The unfortunate thing now is I've clicked this calendar and it's in the way of the questions, because that's just life. Thank you, Cass. Svea is back. They finally came up with a question. Something that you as a teenager thought, which you now seem completely different. Oh no. Something that you as a teenager thought, which you now see completely different. Oh, television. Television and film is completely ruined for me because of the work that I've done as an adult. Because everything's fake. Everything is fake. Even the stuff that you think is a reality show is completely scripted and produced. Any of those dating shows, they do 7 days of filming for a 40-minute episode. All of the horrible things that happen between productions of like, you know, forcing these party shows to like just constantly drink, and like watching Frasier and seeing the same guy in the coffee shop for 21 seasons. I'm like, well, I mean, cushy number for that guy. But TV and film has kind of been ruined for me as a teenager, and I'm looking at all these cool things. I'm like, whoa, that's so cool. And then I go, oh, wait, that's so fake. Wait, there's that guy. There's that stunt performer again. There's that stunt performer again. Wait, that stunt performer got his head chopped off. Oh, wait, no, this guy got, you know what I mean? So definitely teenager Eric thought the magic of television was amazing. And then adult Eric is like, oh, the magic of TV is completely gone. The next question is from Colleen, and it says, oh, of course, they're using big words. Feeling, I'm going to guess, loquacious. Who knows what that means? Was he in the Matrix? What something about creating spicy audio that surprised you once you started doing it full time? Okay, so Colleen is after dropping 5 questions in a row. So what I'm going to try and do is answer them a little faster, so we're not here all day. So feeling loquacious, I'm going to say that's like Latin for cheeky cunt. What's something about creating spicy audio that surprised you once you started doing it full time? Possibly something we'd never guess. Surprised me? I guess the freedom of it. The complete freedom of it. And me and BB have a creative sickness. And when an audio doesn't go 25 minutes, I'm afraid. I'm like, nah, that can't be it. That can't be right. Obviously, the story entails whatever the minutes entail. But the creative freedom of it, because I thought it was going to have to be X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z. And now I'm like, do you want to just do this really stupid thing? And no one goes, whoa, 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 don't do that. Just do a good job, you know? There's an audio that I want to do, and it's me doing a stand-up comedy routine. And I know I have the freedom to do it. I just need to be able to... I just need to be able to perform it properly, that it is entertaining, and not just me thinking I'm funny. So yeah, I think the freedom. Question 2, is there a skill you've had to develop for Quinn work or Patreon content that you didn't expect to matter as much as it truly does now? Media training, being a content creator, having to talk to camera, having to learn to edit, having to learn to produce audios, having to use a degree I haven't used in a very long time. And sometimes when it says Eric Nolan has a sound engineering degree, I don't know what buttons I'm pressing most of the time, and that's the truth. I recently made a small little tutorial on how to do voice acting, and I couldn't explain anything, but I could just tell you how to do it. You know what I mean? I'm a veteran in the process, but in the education, I'm a complete newbie. So every skill, understanding women, and I mean that in many different facets. I have a business partner, I have a work partner, I have a writing partner. I have to take into consideration everything, every feeling that I elicit to people and how that affects people's feelings and so on. So a lot of management of feelings, let's say, which is good because I'm learning to become a better man in real life. I would say like real life. This is real life. Like I'm really doing this. So yeah, I think all of those above skills that I've mentioned. Number 3, looking at your data and wondering, for you, is there a difference between an audio that performs well and one that feels super rewarding to create, even if it's quietly received? Well, the issue is every audio that I'm like, this is my favorite thing ever, it doesn't see well in the analytics. But I also have to think about the process of creating it, writing it, working with BB. Like Hallmark Hospitality was such a fun fucking video call, and it'll only be listened to around Christmas. And by next Christmas, we'll have let's say 12 Christmas audio kind of styles, and then it'll be lost even further, and so on and so forth. Hall Pass was really close to me, and I think it's popular, but it's not as popular as, let's say, I wanted it. I want every audio to succeed, and I want it to succeed because people want to listen to it, not like I'm marketing it down your throats. But there was a couple of times I remember being in Belfast and I was recording in my friend's house, and I was doing, I think, The Perfect Gentleman, and I thought, this is terrible. Like, this is never going to work. And that's just my thoughts in that moment of imposter syndrome. Like, nah, I'm terrible. I'm tired from filming. Like, this isn't going to work, everyone. This just isn't going to work. So it's very interesting how well received that is. So what do I know? And I think now, from watching too many actors round tables, BB will write a script. I will record that script. BB and I will work on maybe if there's changes to be made. We will send it to Quinn, and as soon as it's Quinn's, it's not ours, it's yours. And it's however you interpret that art. There's nothing we can do anymore. There's nothing we can change. So I think it's ours until we give it to you, and then it's yours. You know, it's for you, and you being the collective everyone. So yeah, it's the performance and stuff like that. I've done my best. I'm not going to just put out an audio for the sake of putting out an audio, because I have the time and the skills and the creative bug, and I have BB fucking Easton with me, who is a relentless writing raccoon maniac perfectionist. So why would I coast, you know? But a quietly received audio, I mean, look, if one person listens to it, then that's the person it was for, you know? Question 4, are there any audio ideas that sounded great on paper but turned out to be far more challenging to execute than expected? Everything. Because when we say, let's just do an audio that does this, we then go, but what about this? And I could do this. And like, love letters. Okay, he's in the trenches. Okay, well, now I got to set up a whole world war. Okay, but it's World War One or World War Two? All right, well, we got to fucking study up on World War One and how people, you know, jerked off. There's a lot more education. Krampus, Jesus, more chains, more noises. What does a goblin make? You know, what sound does a goblin make? Like, all these things. Hall Pass. Oh, I really want to sing a song. Oh, I have to go pay copyright. How do I pay copyright? It's that much money? Well, this audio is not making me any profit, but I do like to sing. All of these things become challenging. Everything. And then the ones that are simple and just me and a microphone, the existential dread of people not liking me, exposing the business, and stripping back everything, and it just literally being me in this room with this microphone, I go, but where's all the bells and whistles, you know? But I will be addressing that in next Friday's audio. Number 5, if you, band man, could ban one misconception about you or your work going into 2026, what would it be? Oh, the power. I think what I would ban is the misconception between character and real life. And I will equate working as a Quinn creator as being in the wrestling business. And I think if John York is a fan of the wrestling business, I hope he would see the same way, is that we are entertainers. And we all have our own story. We all have our own gimmick, as you will, like character work. And I understand that the alpha asshole persona of the Devil of Dublin may bleed into the way that I respond to things, and possibly in, let's say, interviews or podcasts or something like that. The way that stuff is perceived can be egotistical, smug, and arrogant. And when you deep dive into then playing that role of like, you know, people would say, oh, this creator's the perfect boyfriend. This creator's the perfect, you know, infidelity guy. This is the perfect, you know what I mean? It's like the wrestling business. You got to have the top guy and he wrestles the bad guy. And then there's this mid-card guy who's like the really entertaining one. Then there's the straight-laced, you know, whatever. So I think Quinn in itself has a wrestling element to it. And everyone has their favorite wrestlers, and those wrestlers are their own personalities, let's say, turned up to 11. Let's say the exciting, the successful versions of them. But then there's that bled of reality of like, well, Jack Gleason, who played Joffrey, quit acting because people thought he was that guy. And I think what I would change is how the arrogance of a character inside an audio bleeds into my life, and then the blurred lines between, well, what's Eric, what's the Devil of Dublin, what's, you know, this script, and what's, you know, the uncut parts of all the conversations I've had. Was there context to make me not look like a cunt, you know? So I'd ban the perceived arrogance of me, but then what's that? It's probably an oxymoron because I'm now coming off as an arrogant cunt. But yeah, that's what I would ban. Oh, if you could ban one misconception about you or your work, no, I think that's the answer. That's the answer. And then the last question on page 1 is from the Skrit Lady. You've said your musical tastes were heavily influenced by your sister. I wouldn't say that as the actual sentence. Assume that she and the rest of your family knows about the music you've recorded. What has been their reaction to your music? Do they suggest songs they would like to hear you sing? Is there a particular song you recorded because your sister's influence? So in terms of sister's influence, it was like the Matrix. Like Neo is looking at two pills, the red pill and the blue pill. The red pill is death metal and the blue pill is pop music, and I chose pop music. So I would just listen to my sister's CDs instead of my brother's CDs, because at least with my sister's CDs I could understand the words. And in terms of them hearing me sing, you have to understand that they weren't hearing the backing track. So I was screaming my little fucking heart out. So if anything, it was probably super annoying. And then in terms of like my mom, it's my mom. She's not going to tell me it's shit. She's going to say, that's lovely now. If you just turn it down a little, that would be great, you know. I remember I moved out and then I came back after a few months and my next door neighbor was like, oh, Jesus, I love your singing. And I went, fuck. You can hear me through the door. You can hear me through the wall. Like we have attached houses in Ireland. I don't know if you have them where you are, but my house is attached to the other person's house, and my bedroom is attached to the master bedroom of the other person's house. So when I'm trying to belt out Moving Mountains by Usher, this woman is hearing it as loud as possible because I'm screaming it into a Disney Princess USB microphone because I can't afford a fucking actual microphone. So yeah, I think people didn't appreciate my music when it was being recorded. And here in Malta, I have a baby above me. So I'm very cautious about the time, and I won't record a Quinn audio after like 8 p.m. because I don't want to wake someone else's baby up, because you know, I'm in the business of hopefully calming and relaxing people. I can't be out stressing a mother of a child by grunting like a werewolf at fucking 10 o'clock at night. So yeah, no, I've never really performed, let's say, for my family or anything like that. So we are now, basically, you all know me. I asked for questions and then I forgot. And then I asked for questions again. So I found 2 threads with questions. There might be some repeats. So I'm going to just go through these quickly. And if anything comes out, I will say, oh, okay, this is repeated. So this should be a lovely 2 minutes of me reading. So that one is done. That one is done. That one is done. That one is done. Okay, so we have a new one from Rita. It says, if Lily and Teddy could suddenly use words, what do you think they'd be the first thing they'd say to you? Where did I answer this already? Did I do these questions? It would be, oh yeah, no, it was like, I think Lily and Teddy was like something about changing the rules. I think that was in the last Yap session. The first thing they'd say to me is, put me down. I pick Teddy up and I put him on my shoulder. That's what I do. That's my job as his father. And then I pick Lily up like a little baby and she leaves me instantly. So put me down, papa. And the next one is almost always safe for work audios are for evenings or nights. Can we have one that happens in the morning, like slowly waking up? Yeah, of course. I like, I'm uneducated in all of this area. So if there's something that you think would work that isn't just a sleep story, fire it my way. The playground, you guys have your own area. Fire it my way, and I'll see what I can do. So that one is also a repeat. That's also a repeat. And then let me see. Okay, please skip this one if it's too personal. Would you rather have mediocre bedroom antics with one person for the rest of your life, but that one person is your soulmate and fulfills you in every way possible, or have mind-blowing, life-altering bedroom antics with someone new every single day, but never be able to create a deeper emotional with one person? Answer number one, obviously. The last thing I want to do is keep learning some cunt's fucking favorite color. Not that that's what I'm asking them during bedroom antics, but I'm about that soulmate life. Come on, look at me. I'm a hopeless romantic. Maybe I've already found it. You've said before that your top celeb crush is Helen Mirren. So with that in mind, you're having a dinner party and your top 5 celebrity crushes, current and past, are the guest. Who's sitting around the table and who is making the devil's sandwich? Who's making the devil's sandwich? Is that a... Oh, okay. I was like, is that a euphemism? Who's making the devil's sandwich? I mean, I gotta stick BB in there, purely for business networking. So she would be at my... Let me see, where do I like to see BB? Maybe on my left. So BB's on my left. And then on the right, I think I'd put like Judd Apatow, because I know that she's into his comedy. And then we could end up making like a movie together, like Knocked Up or one of those movies. And then at the end of the table, I guess I would put someone, I don't know, celebrity crushes though. So wait, so I've now fucked this up and I'm in love with Judd Apatow. All right, maybe I can crush on him enough to put me in a movie. And now people think I'm crushing on BB. I mean, who wouldn't? I don't know. I don't think I have many celebrity crushes who would interact at a dinner table. They're all like Sid's toys underneath his bed. That's what I'm going for. Christmas chocolates, roses, or celebrations. Roses, and the pink ones, the strawberry with the little goo. You have to cut one meal out of your day forever. Are you cutting breakfast, lunch, or dinner? I already cut breakfast out. Breakfast is a scam made by North America for marketing purposes. So I just have this or water and I get on with my day. The next question is from Farah. Hello, hope you're well. I have 3 questions and I hope that's okay. That's completely okay. If your personality were a playlist, what 5 songs would be in it? What movie would you like to live in for a week? If you could swap brains with anyone for a day, who would it be? Have a great day. So I go with brains. I'd love to be inside BB Easton's brain, but not for a day. I just give me like 2 hours inside her brain. It would probably be like 48 hours inside a normal person's brain. I'm fascinated by her creativity and what's the word I'm looking for? Determination to stay up all night on one idea and not go asleep until it's done. And I'd love to live in that horror for 2 hours and then be like, give me back my soft, mushy, cuddly brain. What movie would you live in for a week? I guess you'd have to try and think of like the safest way to live in something fantastical. I was going to say Jurassic Park, but can it be where the park is completely fine and I can just go look at dinosaurs like a zoo? That would be great, and not the Jurassic Park where it's like everything's falling apart and I'm looking for my long lost son and stuff like that and pterodactyls are eating me. I think I'd go with Jurassic Park just for the dinosaur stuff. If your personality were a playlist, what 5 songs would be in it? I guess The Devil's Thrill has to be in it now. Insatiable by Darren Hayes, to take part of the sexual part of my, let's say, love making. And then Riverdance for Ireland, just to keep me hyped up. And I remember me and Cavern were heading up to John's house, and I just put on Riverdance as we entered York, and it just lights a fire under people's arses, and I fucking love it. What else? System of a Down, probably Question by System of a Down, because it just gets you hyped up. And then I gotta go Sad Boy. Jocelyn Flores by XXX Tentacion. So I can put some Sad Boy in there. Where did you get your hedgehog bed sheets from? Tesco's in Belfast. Anytime you post a video with them, the Discord blows up. I want those sheets. Yeah, I think Tesco's in Belfast. That's where I got them. Happy Gregorian New Year. Hope you're having a great start. If this is late, it's late. Starting from unhinged to mostly normal. Okay, yeah, no, it's not. So what I'll do is skip, because there's 5 questions. I'll skip to the end. It says Kitten Kisses 50. No question, just to thank you. My daughter had surgery on Tuesday and I was super nervous. I put on my chest, my heart, and listened to your breathing and heartbeat for about an hour. Helped me calm down, and actually fell asleep while I was waiting for her to go to recovery. I love the smut, but this was exactly what I needed that day. Thank you so much. Well, I'm hoping everything went well with her surgery, and I'm really glad that the stuff that I did helps, and that's its purpose. So I'm really, really happy for that. So I will then move on to the final questions, it seems, and that is from Achilles Morpho, and it says, you have 5 positions you may choose from and can only do one for the next 5 years due to witchy contract reasons. Which positions do you select? Missionary, doggy, reverse cowgirl, the lotus, the butter churner. I mean, I can't be actively Googling stuff. I gotta go missionary, because yeah, it can be used. I'm very versatile in missionary. I don't know what the fucking butter churner is. I'll have to do some incognito Googling after this. After 4 years of the same position. Oh, sorry, wait. This is okay. Is this continuing on? After 4 years of the same position, you find yourself increasingly getting tired of it. You receive an opportunity with the witch. What the fuck's sake? With the witch to trade out a position, but only for a form of oral. You were given 4 oral positions, but what is this? I feel like is this the fucking the plot to Die Hard 3? You are given 4 oral positions to choose from, but you can only do one for the next 2 years due to the witchy contract. The positions are 169, the giraffe upside down head. What? Sorry? 169, 2, the giraffe / up. Oh, okay, upside down. I was like, upside down head. The person has an upside down head. Doggy oral. Okay. Traditional BJ. Will you trade out or stack with the original 5-year or stick with the original 5-year? I'll stick with the original 5-year contract, right? But I'm a giver. So maybe doggy oral. But that doesn't even sound sexy. Doggy oral sounds like not a good thing. But I'll keep my contract. I'm a very, very loyal person. 3, in your previous meet and greets, you didn't really divulge boundaries, save a few, no touchy pretty hair face. However, that was February 2025, and you've had some other meet and greets since now. Is there any things you wish to add or more would you like us to know in terms of boundaries? Yes, I would like to create a list, and I will create this list and I will post it somewhere. Don't worry, it's not bad. It's just a lot of the things that happened were the difficult admin after the event. So things like giving me gifts. I don't live in America. I had a couple of things given to me in Texas, and they quoted me $2,000 to ship that stuff home. I don't have $2,000 for a fucking postman. So gifts will probably go out the window. I love and appreciate you all. And if you show up and we hang out and we take a picture and you support us through Patreon and the shop and all these sort of things, that is enough. Unfortunately, giving me something that's massive, it costs to get it home, or I have to leave it behind, and I don't feel good leaving stuff behind. So that then makes me have to buy a new bag and put the stuff in it and all that sort of stuff. So gifts will be the first thing. And most importantly from the gifts, it will be, don't give BB stuff to give to me. She has her own issues when going to signings, like bringing equipment, banners, books, and then having the burden of being my mailman isn't going to be good for her and I's relationship when she's a little tiny lady carrying kilograms of stuff for me across America. And I appreciate everything. There will possibly be a way to do a gifting thing, but until I learn that will be the first thing mentioned. And like I said, I will make a gift or a boundaries, and hey, you want to come meet me? Here are the rules. And like anything, most of the rules are fucking common sense, and I won't have to deal with any sort of extremes. And the events that I'm going to this year are very well, I would say, policed. Like I said, there was a woman with a gun in Texas. I might just hire this woman as a personal security guard. There's an event next year that I think my actual security guard, who you all know, would be there as well, which would be super fucking cool, but it's a very, very big secret, so I shan't be discussing any notes on that just yet. And the next question is number 4. Do you find that people project the characters you play onto the person you are? Do you think fans will be able to separate the two? Yeah, I think there's a certain level of how much you go into Eric's world. Like if you follow me on social media, if you're on Discord, if you're on Patreon, if you're on a higher tier of Patreon, you get a lot more access to the human being that is Eric Nolan. There obviously at the very start there was an anonymity to me, so people were projecting a lot more into the character because they didn't know who the man behind the character was. And I think over time now it's kind of settled, like this is me, this is my personality, and sometimes those audios are me and sometimes they are things that BB thinks we should create together. But I think as long as it's not hurting anybody or you're not doing anything that's kind of deemed out of order, if you need to project something to help, get through the content is the most PG way I can answer that, then do that. And like anything, if I never ever showed my face, I don't think people would ever picture me to look like this. I know my obviously character profile that was made was similar, like beard, long hair. Wish I had those fucking muscles, but I will eventually. And question 5 is, why were the Devil of Dublin's DMs closed? I'm genuinely curious to know if the Devil of Dublin IG was getting the true Delulu unhinged comments via DMs. No, it's just part of the Quinn policy. It's because publicly I can leave a comment and say, hey everyone, hope you're all doing well. Privately, they can't keep track of their contractors. Do you know what I mean? And like anything, when I worked on Game of Thrones and they gave us Game of Thrones merchandise, they said, if you try and sell it, that's our property, you cannot sell that. If you get into an argument in a pub and you punch someone in the face, the news article will say, Game of Thrones man punches person in face. The clickbait article, you'll think, oh my God, is it one of the famous ones? Like, no, it's Wildling number 781. It's like, who the fuck is that guy? So I think it's to cover their backs, because who knows what happens behind closed doors in a public and private, a private space. So closing them is just the best way to do it. I'm glad that a lot of people who know are completely respecting that. And what I would say is, if you've DM'd me on social media and I haven't replied, but I've looked at it and you don't know why, it's just because I'm not allowed. You know, I will often maybe like something, or I will leave a little GIF or a thank you if it's something like that. But mostly I have to close it. And then in terms of my other account, I have to cross-reference people, because if someone wants to reach out to me and I think, oh my God, they came from Leather and Lark, they don't know about Quinn, they don't know about Quinn's DM thing policy, and I'm like, so do I respond to them, because they don't know who I am in this world? And then all of a sudden they're like fucking Scooby-Doo, and I was like, haha, I love your work on Quinn, and I'm like, you got me. So it's just easier to just fucking never reply to people other than people I met before Quinn. So that is why the DMs are closed. And you know, it's because I'm so entertaining. Why would I put them privately? I gotta put everything public. And that is a joke. Please please don't leave. So that is all the questions. My arse is asleep from sitting on this chair, and God almighty, let's see if the audio file is still recording. 62 minutes. And the video file, 62 minutes. And the streaming file, 62 minutes. So I don't know if I've been sitting like this the whole time. I haven't had the streaming section on. I have the YouTube video, the phone video, the audio, which you can see here. I hope one of them is good enough for you all. So thank you. Now, what do I have here? As some of you may know, I am an affiliate of Aeris Tech, the EMF remapping product. And if anyone's around technology and Wi-Fi, like my Wi-Fi is literally out the door, and being around electronic magnetic fields and so on has been proven to reduce your creativity and fuck with your brain. And Aeris Tech have sent me out some gifts for Christmas to make some content with. And with that, they've also sent me out a Life Tune, which is a very personal EMF remapper, which I can just show you that I have attached to my headphones, which you can see here, just a little sticker that you stick on. And you know, the people who have purchased Aeris Tech from my stuff, my codes, have said that like their headaches, their migraines have gone away. So at some point I will be doing a giveaway for this product. I think it's like $150 worth of stuff. They've also given me something bigger. I have the Zone Max, which is, you can see this does the whole apartment. And to be honest, I'm sleeping better. And this is like, you know, kind of thing of like, if it's mumbo jumbo voodoo, it's working. If it's placebo, it's working. You know what I mean? So I'll be doing a giveaway for that stuff. And I'll be doing a lot more things over January as we travel to Ireland. Myself and BB, I'm going to take her around and show her my previous life. And I'll take some photos, I'll vlog some content, and I will see you all at some point. I think we're going to create a look back, a retrospective look back on the year, and that will be coming soon. And we've got lots of other stuff happening that I'm not, what's the word? Savvy to tell? No, that's not the right thing. That I'm not allowed. I'm Tom Holland in the Marvel Universe. I'm not allowed to say anything. Okay, so I'm going to try and stop all this. Thank you so much to the Devil's Playground tier for their questions. There will be another Yap session, possibly at the end of January, for the whole Patreon. But if you want to join Patreon on any level, it would be much appreciated. Like I said, we've got giveaways, videos, and a brand new series with myself and BB will be starting very soon once we get the logistics around. And it's probably where we will chat about in Ireland. So thank you, everyone. Don't forget to check out The Devil of Dublin on Quinn. Check me out on YouTube, Instagram, all those sort of places. TikTok, I'm trying to do TikTok stuff. We've got a very special audio happening at the end of the month, and I will be leaving little clues throughout my social media content very, very soon. Other than that, have a beautiful Sunday. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Whenever you're listening to this, wherever you are, thank you, and I hope this all worked.